What's up, everybody? Kinetic here, and welcome back to Path of Exile. I am back with a progress report of my Duelist Slayer Earthquake build and my experiences here for like the very first time really digging deep into the game and getting to understand what Path of Exile is really like. And I gotta say, particularly now that I'm exploring maps and I'm trying to understand how trading works better, how to identify what are more valuable items, doing some co-op, learning about endgame bosses and stuff like that. Like, now the game is actually getting more interesting for me, and even more so definitely because of the Legacy League. Like, without the ability to add the League stones in around and customize the experience, I'm not sure how much fun I would actually be playing without that. That is such a huge experience for me, personally, and my personal enjoyment here in Path of Exile this time around. So yeah, I've been doing some kind of mixing things up, doing some single player runs, maybe just you know, dailies, and I don't know, watching videos or reading articles on, you know, on Path of Exile and stuff like that. Sometimes doing some co-op with some crazy maps, like with people that are inviting me to come, you know, join them maybe for dailies or doing maps or something like that. And that variety of activity is also helping out a lot to make things really interesting for me. So what I want to do in this video is I want to talk about a bunch of things like my impressions and stuff like that. I want to talk about builds actually, as a bigger part of this video, and kind of really ask you guys and give my impressions on what exactly like makes a fun build like in an ARPG. Not necessarily just Path of Exile, but like what makes a build, particularly I would say in the long term, like what makes a build fun to play. We'll be talking about that. I'm gonna also one more time respond to the controversy for the last time about me receiving items from viewers and stuff like that as a YouTuber, because I really want to just like clear the air and get you guys on the same page with me on this. I talked about it in the MMOs Make ARPGs Better video, but I would still like to reply just a little bit more about this. I've actually got some notes. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I've got notes of things that have been on my mind, like that I want to kind of talk about and stuff like that with you guys. Let's just go ahead and respond to some of that criticism, I suppose, and get it out of the way. Really, the way that I see it in the comments, there's like three types of people. There's the first kind that they're criticizing me or complaining, whatever you want to say, about me taking items and stuff like that because they think that I'm ruining my own experience, that I'm losing the chance to learn the slower way, a little bit the harder way and stuff like that, that will make me a better player. And I really appreciate you guys and that kind of attitude. I'm on the same page with you. Really, if it wasn't for the fact that I've been so slow with this build, among other things, I probably wouldn't have taken these items, but I felt like I've taken the currency and items and stuff like that really as a way of making up for lost time, because I've been struggling to go as fast as I'd like to. Usually, I really would not have gone this slow if I had, like, I don't know, a smoother time with IRL right now, but I just don't. So I'm kind of struggling with gaming in general, particularly with Path of Exile. But yeah, again, the items to me are not something that I think about too much, but if anything, I feel like I'm taking them again, like I said, because just to kind of make up for lost time, if anything. But I can tell you this already, like in the future, like for future builds, probably even just the very next build that I do, I really want to avoid taking any handouts from anybody, and like that, like just try and do it myself, particularly now that I'm feeling more confident with all the things that I've learned now about crafting and trading and stuff like that. I'm feeling like I can do it myself, definitely, more than I could like a couple of weeks ago without handouts and stuff like that. So thank you guys for your support, and thank you guys for understanding. The second type, I think, of a person that is against me taking items from viewers is because they want to see me go slower, and they want to see me struggle. They want to see me maybe get a bit frustrated. They want to see me die. They want to see me maybe even baby rage or something like that. And that's fine too. Like, I'm actually used to that from having played the Dark Souls games. Almost everybody wants to see me die, like, the entire time of the video or the stream. They're just like, come on, Zach, die, kind of attitude towards me, particularly against bosses and stuff like that. And I love like proving those people wrong or shocking them with, you know, maybe how much better they thought I would do with those Dark Souls moments. So I get that, like here in Path of Exile, I think you guys, like secretly deep down, some of you want to see me struggling and you know, not getting it maybe as well for your own entertainment value, and that's fine. There's another kind of viewer that is certainly less tolerable. They're the type of people that are against me taking items because they're simply jealous. Sorry. Maybe start up your own YouTube channel, maybe start streaming or something like that. You can get your own items or something like that. Even worse than that are the saltier levels where they start, you know, bitching at me in the comments and, you know, saying that they're cringing and unethical this and stuff like that. And maybe some of those people are joking, but I'm pretty good by now after years of doing YouTube, kind of reading between the lines and seeing whether they're actually, you know, kind of just trolling me for fun or trolling me to piss me off. And you know, I just don't have tolerance for that. I treat my channel, my videos, and my comment section the way I treat a house party at my place. If you come in and you're being a dick to, you know, people in my party, or you're being a dick to me or something like that, I'm gonna throw you out of the party. You know, I'm gonna ban you from the channel, and that's it. I got no time for this shit. You know, I don't care. I'm not here to be Mr. Popular, Mr. Nice Guy, you know, or anything like that for Path of Exile or for any game. You know what I mean? Anyway, what I want to do now in this video is I want to move on from all of that, and let's corrupt some maps. I've just recently been looking into, okay, how do I actually get to these bosses, these endgame bosses like Edziri, Shaper, and stuff like that? Because for the most part, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, just doing things trial and error, like I've said before, just kind of seeing if I can discover how to do it myself and stuff. And I did notice from a couple of videos that I've watched and sort of paying attention to what they're doing and just from my own experiences, that these 4 slots here, they represent bosses, don't they? And the way that this seems to work is you start from these far corners, you start, you know, going through all these maps, unlocking your way till you get to these bosses. And then once you defeat them, I can't remember if it's a 100% chance or a partial chance that by fighting them, they'll drop, what is it, a map fragment or something like that? You need 4 fragments from the 4 bosses, and then you can put that into the map device in the 4 slots here, and it will take you to Shaper's Realm. That's how I understand it anyway. Very similarly, that's also how it seems to work for Edziri. Which is quite interesting, but it works in a different way. The way that I've recently read it, and I hope I'm getting this right, is basically I will use a Val Orb to corrupt a map, and then there's all these different effects that can happen to the map, but regardless of whatever the outcome is, I think, for corrupting the map, once I go in there and I fight the map boss, there's a chance that that boss will drop one of the fragments that I need, just like Shaper's Realm, to put in here, one of 4 that I need to then open a portal that will take me to Edziri, which is pretty cool. I think I've already got 1 map piece actually in my currency, so I should only need 3 more, because you can also get map fragments from doing like corrupted sections of like normal areas, can't you, or something like that? Anyway, let's go ahead and try this. So I've got a few of these Val Orbs, corrupts an item, modifying it unpredictably. Let's do it to, I think I need all of these maps actually. Burial Chambers, go. Okay. So it's corrupted, and it seems to have changed. I probably should have read that more before I actually clicked on it. Let's see. Okay, the map modifiers to quantity of item is found, also applied to rarity. Okay, let's see what happens when I corrupt this one. Oh yeah, big change there. Wait, what? Hang on. Did that completely... What the hell just happened? I think it changed completely what map it was. Didn't it say something about Zana, and now it says Spider Lair? You know what, let's try this too, because this could be interesting. We could corrupt a white map. Let's see what happens. Okay. Absolutely nothing. So then, yeah, I can't change it once it's been corrupted. So then the better way to handle that would be to first maybe use an alchemy on it. Now it changes it to Chaos Vault, Pyramid Map. And it's already got a bunch of affixes to it. Let's corrupt it now. Actually, let me read it real quick. Dodge chances unlucky, 15% less area of effect, 2 additional projectiles, 2 unique bosses. Corrupt it. Whoa. Okay, achievement unlocked. Hostile territory. It's... okay, well it's still a Vol Pyramid map. But it's completely different from how it was before. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's go ahead and we will jump into one of these maps and see if we can't get ourselves a fragment. Right, so on the topic of what makes a good build, it really seems to, I guess, depend on what you're looking for. Again, as I've said before, there's so many people with different tastes as far as what they're looking for and what they find to be fun in ARPG, so this answer is probably going to be very different depending on who you ask, right? Like, what makes a build good? Like, what makes a good build? I think one type of person would look at it like, well, what makes a good build is one that is efficient. A lot of people like efficiency as part of their builds, as far as like the amount of effort that it takes to get it, how powerful it is as a result. Maybe, I suppose, in the case of Path of Exile, like, how cheap is it? How efficient is it? Like, for what it costs to build it is a factor, right? So kind of like, yeah, efficiency is a big part maybe of how people view what makes a build good. Another thing that I've noticed, particularly amongst the Path of Exile crowd, is they praise the game and no doubt the build aspect of it as well because of its complexity. A lot of people like to talk trash about D3 because they perceive, and to a point they're right, they're correct to a degree, that D3 is just too simple, too easy even, some people will say, to fully gear your character and then not have to worry about anything else apparently after that, which I don't subscribe to that attitude when it comes to D3 builds. Not that much. But like I said, they do have a point. Compared to Path of Exile, D3 is far, far less complex. And that complexity, like I said, is a big part of what makes the game and builds very, very attractive. I wouldn't put it past, like I was saying, some people to say that, first and foremost, the complexity of a build, and to a degree its efficiency, not just complexity for the sake of complexity, right? But somewhat efficient as well is the top thing that makes builds fun. Now, for me personally, and I would say this as a representative of this, a build has to be first and foremost fun to play. It may be super powerful, right? It may be just like the ultimate boss killer, speed farmer, greater rift, you know, pusher or something like that. But if it's not fun to play, if it feels clunky and it just maybe feels too repetitive, or boring in its gameplay, then I won't be able to play it. Efficiency and complexity is great, but I have to play a build myself personally that is, first and foremost, it has to be fun to play in its gameplay, and that's a big reason why I chose this build for Legacy League, is because I saw some of the gameplay and I was like, wow, that looks actually really freaking cool. All of the leaping around, all the earthquake, you know, damage going around and things like that. It just looked like the kind of build, especially, and here's a key point, that is fun and that I can play for hours and hours on end without too much fatigue or just getting bored of it, right? Like if I choose a build, it's because it's gonna be fun to play. And I feel like I can play it for hours and hours and hours on end. Something like, okay, Whirlwinds, right? Whirlwind from D2 or from D3, for that matter. I could play for hours and hours and hours on end. But the charge build, Raycore charge build in D3, I can maybe tolerate it for 30 minutes, and then I've got to move on. I just do not find that build to be fun to play, even though it is consistently... Crap, I don't have my talismans. It is consistently one of the best builds that you can run as a barbarian in D3. I just cannot, like, it's so annoying to play for me for some reason. And then there's probably a smaller, not that small, but there's definitely a crowd of people who, first and foremost, choose builds based on the character that's playing it. Like, how attracted are they to playing that character? They may choose it based on the gender, because of course a lot of ARPGs are gender locked, right, and their classes and stuff like that. It's their skin color, or maybe their archetype or their theme or something like that. There's definitely players out there that choose based on that, which is totally fine and has a lot less to do with the builds, but it's certainly a factor, right, I think. So there you go. I think there's, like I said, depending on the type of player you are and your priorities, it's going to depend on how you look at and how you choose the characters that you play in ARPGs. I really want to know from you guys, you know, where do you fit into that? I think the more hardcore crowd, maybe even the elitists, will not give not a single shit about the way a character looks, or even, like, you know, the gameplay as a factor, you know, whether it's super fun to play or not. They just want, pound for pound, you know, number for number, the most powerful, you know, the most efficient, maybe, or something like that, build that they can play, right? And then the lesser hardcore, you know, maybe a little bit more on the casual side or something like that. Like myself, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that hardcore of an ARPG player. Might also consider the looks of the character, the gameplay, stuff like that. Let's go up the final flight to the arena. What's inside? Is this gonna be where we get potentially our map piece? Oh, we got it, baby. You're still alive? What the hell? Well, that freaked me out. I was like, wait a minute. What the shit is going on? Oh, no way! Did it seriously? It dropped 2. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I don't have 3 of the exact Sacrifice at Dusk map piece here. But in my head, I was imagining, okay, you know, because I knew what the first one that I'd found looks like. It looks like that, right? And I thought I would find other pieces that would be rotated so that way it would look like, once I put them in the map device, like a circle. But I guess that's not a priority for the art team in Path of Exile. Or maybe I really do have 3 of the exact same piece. I mean, either way, I can't open the realm anyway. But I am very excited to get that 4th piece and to go run up against Adziri. I can remember very clearly, like, when I first saw the character art, when the news of the update for Path of Exile was coming out, and we see her and all of her glory. I was like, wow, that looks interesting. All that I'm doing is in preparation to be ready for that 3.0 update, be a better player so I can really tackle it and make some good video content. Until then, guys, I want to know what you think down in the comment section below. Click the like button to support Path of Exile here on the channel, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Again, would really like to read your comments about what do you think makes for a good build. Is it efficiency, complexity, is it fun, is it fashion? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. This is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.